when you cut through the noise, you can become a part of the music. And you can become a part of the music by playing your own tune and holding your own notes. I was thinking about the Zane Lowe interview recently, where Zane Lowe interviewed Cat's Eye. And he's really amazing, by the way. He makes me a fan of artists, and he makes me want to listen to people that I would never just feel a natural attraction to listening in a verbal setting, because of how good of an interviewer he is. Anyway, he commented that Cat's Eye were making music that's very reflective of now, which is noise. It's a lot of noise, a lot of different directions, it's a lot of layering, and it's not perhaps what you would say like a lot of harmony. And I think this stage that we're in, like collectively, we're in this big growing stage where we're all starting to grow in different directions. And so it feels like there's so much more friction being created right now. It feels like for some people there's like all this like helplessness or like this internal okay? And what it is it's growth. We are being pulled in separate directions to expand the circle that is existence and to make it bigger. Because God, creation, consciousness, started out dormant as nothing. And from that dormant nature, one single atom emerged. And that single atom emerged through free will because it willed itself into existence, right? Creator willed itself to be. What we have seen since the dawn of time until now is that little atom is just expanding. And if you know anything about being a baby and growing, it hurts, okay? Your bones hurt, your joints hurt, your muscles hurt, you sleep and you can't get good rest because everything's aching. It's very similar to where we are right now as a collective. And what we can do is we can remind ourselves that we are growing, okay? When you're going through growing pains, like whether your wisdom tooth is coming down or you have shin splints, right? Like, if you become aware that that is just a stage of growing, it allows you to not resist and fight it. Now, you may not feel like you can do anything to make it better in the moment, but the act of not resisting it and not holding added tension alone is what's going to make it better. It's like if you're getting a massage done, and if they're working a place in your back, for example, that's like really knotted and really uncomfortable. If you're like this and you're not breathing, you are making it all worse because they're trying to remove the tension and you are just injecting it right back into yourself, right? So what we want to do is we want to physically release. A lot of people will be sat like this. Posture matters so much, okay? One day when I was in this very garden a few years ago, I saw a bald eagle land. And it landed on a branch, and then it got onto the ground, and with its feet, and it was going like this. Okay, it was like doing this jumpy thing, like from side to side. And I realized like years later, thinking about this thing, at first I was like, oh my God, it's doing like a happy dance. Like maybe it got a snack and it's feeling really good right now. Very possible. But I would like to amend my theory now. I feel like that eagle in the moment was preparing to hunt. Okay? Or maybe it tried to hunt and it realized I'm not warm enough. And it missed, and it was like, you know what, I gotta do a little warm up. Ooh, get me in the zone. Because as an eagle, unless you're getting it with the beak, okay, those talons are what is going to grab it, all right? The talons and the legs need to be ready for the impact, because if not, you will miss, right? You won't be able to direct the force into the object. The same with growing. Like, we grow, part of growth is rest and is relaxation, and the other part is preparation. And so if you're in a place where you're like, I have no idea what to do, I feel like the world is calling me to something different, I feel like my life is gonna change, I feel like XYZ, but you don't know how to get from A to B, Or if you're feeling the opposite of this, if you're feeling like a huge wave of depression out of nowhere, if you're feeling like a sudden loss of motivation, like, damn, this shit used to be so easy for me and now it's so hard, we just have to remember what state we're in, okay? We need to remember, is this a time, and just listen, is this a time where I need to relax, where I need to like let the tension be worked out of me? Is this a time where I need to prep my legs for that hunt? Like, which part am I in? This is very hard to do if you are focused on other people's stories and other people's trajectories and other people's narratives and other people's success, because it's not you. And those people are traveling through their own journey, and you may see certain parallels from the outside that make you feel like, oh, that's me, that's where I'm at. But if you lack an awareness of yourself and where you are and what you need, it will be very hard for you to get from here to the very thing that you're envisioning in your mind, to the very thing you desire, which could be peace, which could be wealth, which could be love, which could be joy, which could be just, let me just be, the word is not complacent, the word is content, where you can just be content, right? Whatever your objective is, you need to understand where you are to get to where you want to be. So we need to do this exercise as individuals, and then we can also do it as a collective, right? We can do it as a whole community, as a planet, as a nation, as a house. Like, we can do these things together. We are growing together, all right? Our world is just expanding so largely that it requires each of us to make sure we are in the right place to hold the fort down, yeah? This happens as we grow in different directions, because things are not as flat as they may seem. Certain contradictions can exist at the same time, and they actually don't compete with each other, but they're the very force that is allowing the growth to occur, right? Globally, a lot of changes, a lot of shifts are happening. But as each one of us hold creator power and the power of a being who has free will and of a being who can literally make things with our hands and make things with our body and make things with our voices, we are all helping decide in what way are we growing, right? Chinese foot binding, okay? They decided that they don't want the feet to grow. They don't want the feet to grow like that. So what happened is the foot would fill this binding shoe case as much as it could, and it would be all like deformed and compressed. But the growth was still trying to happen. There just wasn't the room for it. And so also with us as a society and as a collective, like, we need to decide, how do we want to grow? Do we want to grow together? Do we want to grow for the well-being of everybody? Because if we do, all we have to do is just start envisioning it, and then every time we see it outwardly, we see it in Mamdani, we see it in Baltimore, okay? Whenever we see these things, we just have to go recognize it and say, Alhamdulillah, there it is. Alhamdulillah, there it is. Alhamdulillah, there it is. That's clapping for other people. When you can clap for someone else, it's because you recognize that a part of what you desire, or a part of what you see, or a part of what you envision is existing somewhere else, and it's okay that it's not for you directly, because it's in existence, and that alone is proof enough that it's real. This was a loaded message, so take what you need from here, come back and listen to the rest if it's relevant. But most importantly, just have a beautiful day. Open your eyes, recognize you, recognize the things around you, and clap for them. Okay, and clap for me because it's my birthday. Okay, have a good one. Bye.